All right, you're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday Night Fun Show. For all the Muslims that are doing their whatever prayer it is on Friday, too bad. Darcy, Mariam, Jesus, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. We got Leah, we got Paul, so we're going to have some fun. We're going to pick up on chapter 19, verse 33. And after this show, I got a debate on Clubhouse. And then don't forget, tomorrow I am doing three shows: 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then the normal one at 6 o'clock. But before we get started, let's have an intro. Alrighty, let's get this party started. Somebody had a party favor. Jesus says party time. Oh, Jesus, if you want to come up, there's the link. Okay, let's get this show on the road. At the stream. Let me remove the video so I can see if anybody comes in. All right, so we got 4. Let me blow this bad boy up. Okay, let me go to my screen. Okay. This is Muhammad's report about Isa, the Jesus of Muhammad's birth and resurrection. Isa, the Jesus of Muhammad, was not the son of God. It would be unbecoming for God to have a son because Allah, with his 2 right hands, he can't find a wife. All right, verse 35. It is not to Allah to take some son. Praise be to him when he decrees a matter. So surely he only has to say to it, be, so it will be. Well, talking about something in the future.
It kind of is weird because he says when he decrees a matter, doesn't that imply already that he said it before? Does he have to say be again?
Yeah, but here's the whole thing. Be, so it will be. That means we don't know when it's going to be. It's not like instantaneous because, Muslims like to
It's
tell
more
me.
like it's more like an if because he's the God of perhaps when he says be.
Right, but Muslims will tell you that when Allah wants to do something, he just says be, and it is. But it took 6 days to create the heavens and the earth, or was it 8 days, or was it 7 days? We don't know. Allah doesn't know. I mean, he had to get the clay for Adam and form him. And according to the Prophet of Doom, I think it's in Al Tabari, one of those, Adam had to ferment for 40 days. For 40 days, he was just laying down on the ground, a lump of clay, and Satan used to kick him and crawl in through his behind and come out of his mouth. And Adam has a navel, which I'm still trying to ponder. How can you have a navel if you're not born? But hey, this is Islam for you. And surely Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so serve him. This is a straight way. Okay. So parties among them disagree. Which parties and why do they disagree? So
among.
I'm sorry, you hit the matrix.
I said, and who are they among? That's the last question.
That's a good question. So among them, parties among them, among who? Yeah. I was having some fun with this, the 35. I was still kind of confused. It says, it was not to Allah to take some son. Okay. Any son, or it doesn't, it's really vague. This is where the Quran is so vague.
And what does it mean to take some son? Why not to take a son? See, Allah, I corrected you. Please don't torment me with all those nasty things. Okay,
All
so what were 37? So parties among them disagree. Okay. So woe to those who became infidels from the vision of a great day.
What
Oh,
vision?
wait a minute.
We haven't.
So they became infidels after a vision of a great day. Must not have been a great day at all.
Well, it must have been so good that they knew that Muhammad and Allah were somebody not to believe.
That could be. You might have to
Hello,
take
Eric. Glad to see you there.
You might have to take over if my dog decides to be a pain in my butt.
All right. Do you want me to share my screen
No.
before you run, or?
Yeah, share your screen. She's not making any noise yet, so she just ate. She did her business. Okay,
All
where are
right.
you? Okay, I see you right here. Just in case.
Okay. So we're on to 38.
So we can use yours, and I'll read
Okay.
mine.
All right.
Okay, so 38. Here, excuse me. Hear by them and see on a day they come to us. But today the unjust are in obvious error. Hear by them. How am I supposed to hear by somebody else?
It doesn't make sense. I mean, hear by that. Yeah, you can't hear by somebody. I mean, you're trusting someone else if you're hearing by somebody else. See on a day they come to us.
What day is that?
It's
No,
so.
this has to be Resurrection Day. So
I don't know,
gotten there yet.
because there's nobody living that was dead. I mean, but today they are the unjust are okay. Well, you expect the unjust to be an obvious error. It's not like, I mean, this is an obvious. That's what's the right word? Gosh, there's a word. You don't repeat things. I mean, it's just like stupid. You don't need to say the unjust or an obvious error. It's just like, okay, they're unjust because they committed an error. Okay, so it's kind of like, yeah.
If Brother Eric wants to join us, there's the link. I don't know if Jesus saw it. Okay, so we're here by them. Okay, 39. And warn them of the regret day. Excuse me, I just finished eating myself. And warn them of the regret day when the command will be accomplished while they are unaware and they do not believe. That makes about as much sense as adding water to your fuel tank.
We don't know for what reason they have warn them of the regret day. What's a regret day? It doesn't tell us what that is.
Okay, now this next one here, it cannot be Allah speaking. Surely we will inherit the earth and all who are on it. What does that mean?
Well, then if he's not speaking there, if Allah's not speaking there,
who's going to inherit
was
the
he
earth?
speaking in verse 35?
Well, it has to be Allah, because then it says, and to us they will be returned. So what exactly does Allah mean he's going to inherit
wait a minute.
the earth?
Allah's going to inherit the earth and all who are on it. And that doesn't even make any sense.
I know.
Surely we will. Okay, if Allah's going to inherit the earth, shouldn't he have at least walked on it? And all who are on it, and to us, again, he's going from. It's not a royal we. I mean, this is the thing. Allah has to be a plurality, which means he's committed shirk.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, here we go again. The story of Abraham is copied from the Bible and corrupted again. I don't know. This is what, the third or fourth time we've read the story of Abraham?
Time. This is sad.
And it starts off the same way. And remember in the book Abraham. What book?
There's no book named Abraham
that
I know of. I mean, I've heard of the book of Genesis, but maybe Muhammad or Allah doesn't know that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe Allah's trying to say, and remember in the book, Abraham, like Abraham is in the book, but we don't know what book. We don't even know who he's talking to, but let's assume it's Muhammad. Surely he was a friend, a prophet.
Who was?
Well, at least he's got that.
In the book Abraham, I mean, if he's saying Abraham was a friend, it's still the way it's written. You kind of, it's really confusing.
When he said to his father, "Oh, my father," Why do you serve that which neither hears nor sees, nor profits you anything? Oh, my father,
So
surely indeed.
wait. We
Some
got to go back for just a second. The oh my father. Who is the father of Abraham according to Islam?
there's a verse that says, what's his name? Azar.
Yeah, and the reason is because we had talked about we did a show on Tuesday. You talked about how it wasn't Azar in the Old Testament; it was
No, it's
Terah.
Sahar.
So the question is, who is he talking to? Is he talking to this imaginary guy named Azar, or is he talking to Terah? Oh, my father, who do you serve that which neither hears nor sees? Terah was a polytheist. It's not a doubt. And that's one of the reasons why, God calls them separate. But yeah.
Well, the thing is that in this particular chapter, he doesn't say the name of Abraham's father, but there is a chapter that has his name, which it's kind of stupid because the story of Abraham, I think, is like 6, 7, 8 times in here,
And
I
they
think,
can't get it right once.
and his name is only mentioned once out of all the other times that the whole story is being retold. Oh, my father, surely indeed some knowledge came to me which has not come to you. So follow me. I will guide you to the straight way. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, my father, do not serve Satan. Surely Satan was a rebel against the merciful. Oh, my father, man, I'm getting tired of this. Oh, my father. Oh, my father, surely I fear lest a torment from the merciful touches you. So you will become a friend to Satan. Okay, I guess this is his father talking now. He said, are you forsaking my gods, O Abraham? If you do not stop that, I will stone you and depart from me for a long time. I
So
guess
who's talking here? He said,
this is supposed to be Abraham's father is talking to Abraham and responding to him.
so he's threatening to stone Abraham.
Yes, and leave him for a
He's leaving for a long time. I'm leaving on a
wait a
jet
minute,
plane. Don't know if I'll be back again.
don't you usually die from stoning?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so maybe
So how is he going to leave after he gets stoned? I mean, if you think he's getting high, that's one thing.
right.
Yeah, if you're getting stoned, I'm sorry, you ain't getting up from that. No way. They don't stop stoning till you're dead.
Okay, he said, "Peace be on you. I will
But
ask forgiveness."
I thought the stones were going to be on him.
Okay, peace be on you. I will ask forgiveness for you from my Lord. Surely he was kind to me. And I will separate from you in what you call on rather than Allah. Okay. And I will call to my Lord. Okay. Perhaps I will not become miserable by calling my Lord. Man, that doesn't give me goosebumps. So when we had separated from them and what they served rather than Allah. Okay, now this is Allah speaking. But Allah's not making any sense. So when I guess he's talking about Abraham. When Abraham separated from them and what
Who's
they
them?
served
I
rather
mean, I
than
understood Terah.
Allah.
He's separating from the father. I get that, but
Wow.
them?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
Terah in the family or Terah in the
Yeah, I guess he
village
must
or
have.
whatever.
Yeah, but Terah was with Abraham until
He was at Maybe he's talking about separating from I don't
until
know.
he died. Yeah. But
Yeah.
here's funny. And we granted to him Isaac and Jacob, and each of them we made a prophet. Now, nowhere do we see Allah saying this about Ishmael. Notice how he bypassed Ishmael. He just
So
said, and we granted him
wait. So
Isaac and
Ishmael
Jacob.
is not okay. So according to this, Ishmael is not of the good seed.
Apparently not, which is why Allah doesn't even recognize him as being given from Allah to Abraham. Now,
Hmm.
he's also confusing Isaac and Jacob because Jacob wasn't given to Abraham. Jacob was
Maybe he
given to
thinks they're
Isaac.
brothers.
Yeah. Uh, Allah actually thinks that Isaac and Jacob are sons of Abraham. And we granted them from our mercy and gave them the lofty tongue of truth. Alhamdulillah.
What does it say when you have a God who doesn't understand chronological order?
Or a God who doesn't know the difference between a son and a grandson.
That's scary.
Or a man that wrote the book.
Yeah. Okay. The stories of Moses, Ishmael, Enoch, Adam, and Abraham are loosely copied from the Bible and corrupted again. Notice Muhammad's confusion of the true name of Idris, which is Enoch. See Genesis 5:21 and 24. Also, Muhammad considered Ishmael to be a prophet. Compare this to Genesis 16 and 12. We know that there is no historical evidence. Nobody believed that Ishmael was a prophet. So, okay. And okay, now we're going back. And remember in the book Moses. Which book?
It sounds like almost word for word reading. I'm just
It's
going to
a
go back up.
copy.
I want people
It's
to look
like,
at this. And remember in the book Moses, then we have up here,
and remember
and
the book.
remember in the book Abraham.
Yeah, so all they did was change the names. Hey,
It's like he didn't know
Allah
how to
was
start.
Allah was an efficient writer. He what's that word? He recycled
You know,
the verses.
he has writing prompts.
Yeah.
This is what you give young children when they
Hey,
don't
it's
know
kind of
what
like
to write. How to start.
you know, it's kind of like Biden when he has his speeches. He has the cue card, which he still gets wrong. He's not supposed to read some of the stuff that's on the cue cards, but that was funny. And remember, in the book Moses, we don't know what book. Surely he was faithful, okay, and he was a messenger, prophet, and we called him from the right side of the mountain.
What about the left side?
I guess, well, you know, who knows? And gave him close communication. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means Allah was close to him. Oops.
I think it's a funny way to put on the face-to-face passage.
Yeah, but we can't
Close
have that.
communication. So
Then again,
face-to-face.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think you're right. Face to face. Is it that hard for him to talk about God communicating face to face? That's a pretty sad statement.
It's not, it's funny. It's kind of like when they tell you in like college or university, make sure you don't plagiarize. So he's trying to paraphrase or rephrase certain things so that he can make sure he doesn't get, plagiarized.
Allah needed to use Copyscape to make sure he wasn't plagiarized. And we granted to him out of our mercy his brother, Aaron, a prophet. But wait a minute. Wouldn't that be proper to say Aaron was granted to his father? I mean, Aaron is not a son of Moses.
So Aaron is a nephew in this logic.
I mean,
so Aaron is Moses's brother, but I think you're right. Apparently,
it should be
Allah
granted to the father
because he can't be the brother. So the gift is to the mommy and daddy.
I'm gonna double check.
I don't think Allah understands those things.
So apparently, Moses and Aaron have a father, but we don't know who he is until. Oh yeah, that was chapter 3, the family of Imran.
What chapter are we in right now? I'm gonna double.
We're in chapter 19. So we noticed that Aaron is a prophet, right? Now, Allah never said anywhere in the Quran that Muhammad was a prophet. Just as he is the seal of the prophet. That doesn't mean he is a prophet.
There's nothing said in the Bible that Aaron is a prophet ever.
Okay, here we go again. And remember in the book Ishmael, that now this is the third time he's copied it and just transposed a different name. Surely he was true to his promise and was a messenger prophet.
Wait a minute. Wait, well, how can he be a messenger prophet when he wasn't messaged in the passage? He wasn't even mentioned in the passage above.
No. Ishmael, and what's Ishmael doing here when this is about Moses and Aaron?
Well, I think I keep saying Allah is chronologically challenged.
And he was commanding his family with the prayer and the legal alms, and was well pleasing to his lords. And remember in the book Idris, which is supposed to be Enoch, surely he was a friend, a prophet. Now, this guy wasn't a messenger. He was just a friend and a prophet. And we raised him to a high place. All right.
What high place?
So it's actually weird. When I'm reading 53 here, it says that they granted for him from his mercy a brother, Harun or Aaron, a prophet. So yeah, I don't know what the concept of
I've never heard of a
from
brother
his-
being given a gift of a brother. I mean, they get the gift of the brother from their parents. I mean, the
Right.
people who are really given the gift are the parents, and this is where I think
and it's of we granted to him out of our mercy. His brother, yeah, he has it right. It makes no sense.
Okay. Those are the ones whom Allah graced among the prophets from the descendants of Adam, and among who we carried with Noah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did you carry Abraham and Moses and Enoch and Aaron with Noah?
Oh, is he thinking they all got on the boat at the same time?
I think so. And okay, because it says here, those are the ones whom Allah graced among the prophets from the descendants of Adam. Okay, I got no problem with that because we all came from Adam.
Yeah,
And,
it's right there. Among whom we carried with.
Right. So how did you carry Moses and Harun and Idris
They
and
all jumped
Abraham
on
and
the
Ishmael?
same boat. They all were on the ark, according to this.
It actually doesn't even say Ishmael; it says Israel.
And okay, with Noah, and among the descendants of Abraham and Ishmael, and among those whom we have guided and chosen. What does that have to do with the sentence that I
So,
just read
according to
before?
this, I'm just gonna. I'm having some. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be laughing at this for quite a while. Those are the ones whom Allah graced, and the prophets, the descendants of Adam, and among whom we carried with Noah. Noah only gets carried on the ark. So all of a sudden, Adam's getting on the ark. Abraham's getting on the ark. Israel's getting on the ark.
Maybe carried as in like the message. I'm gonna.
Among
Or,
the descendants
or
of.
maybe what he's trying to say is, okay, Moses and Aaron and Enoch
Allah
and
is so
Ishmael.
chronologically challenged. As a retired special ed teacher, I'm just saying, Allah needs some diagnosis here. He needs some help with his learning disability. It's pretty severe.
Yeah, you could probably make some good money, working with Allah.
I don't work for free. I think he'd need some help.
Come on, 72 luscious, bodacious, translucent.
That doesn't sound pretty at all to me. It sounds gross.
Hold on a second. Let me put my charger on my lappy. Oh, come on, there you go. All right, just in case. Okay, okay, and among the descendants of Abraham and Israel. Who's Israel?
That's what I was just talking about. Israel,
Who's this guy Israel? How did he get in here? How did he sneak into the Quran? And among those whom we have guided and chosen, when the verses of the merciful were recited to them, they bowed down, worshiping and weeping. I would be weeping because I'd be like, oh my God, I got to listen to this crap. It's bad enough I got to read it.
It doesn't make sense, which is worse.
59. So others have come in their place after them. Okay.
After who? I mean, we're talking about
after
Noah
Moses
and Abraham and Israel.
Abraham and Ishmael and all these other people. Okay.
Okay.
They have lost the prayer and followed the lusts. So
What
they
prayer?
will meet. We haven't gotten a prayer yet. Oh, it's Al-Fatiha, but we weren't told it was a prayer. And they will meet with error. Okay. I don't know what that means. Except those who repented and believed and did a good deed. Now, guys, you only need to do one good deed, not deeds.
So deeds get you into heaven now.
No, not deeds. A good deed. That's it. One deed.
Hmm.
And those will enter the garden and will not be dealt with unjustly anything.
Unjustly anything. What's an unjustly anything?
I have no clue. Allahu Alam. Eden's gardens, which the
It's
merciful. I'm sorry.
it's funny because the other translations say deeds, and I'm checking the Arabic, and it's singular. So they're really trying to cover that up.
So it's Eden singular.
No. I'm talking about deeds, like the lying translations. Pretty much they.
Oh, so you're saying
Yeah.
the other translations they corrected it and said good deeds.
They corrected on behalf of Allah, even though it
okay.
doesn't say that.
You know,
Ah.
Allah came down and gave him revelation. That was one of the things in the third of the night. Allah said, "Hey, listen, you guys, I made a mistake on chapter 19, verse 60. It really should say deeds. Okay, let's fix it for me because my two right hands are busy making hories." Okay, Eden's gardens, which the merciful have promised, which the merciful has promised to his servants in the unseen.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Eden's gardens, which the merciful has promised to his servants in the... that makes absolutely no sense.
Hey.
Which the merciful has promised to his servants in the unseen. Okay. Sorry. Which the merciful has promised to his servants in the unseen. Like, you're promising something unseen?
I don't know. How
I guess you could say heaven's promise, but this just doesn't... It's
how
just
you
so
serve
out there.
Yeah, how you servants in the unseen. Okay, surely his promise was to come. So it hasn't come yet. Okay, 62. They will not hear it in any vain discourse except peace. And they will have their provisions in the morning and the evening. There will be no lunch, folks. So you better get used to eating 2 meals a day.
It's funny though how in that circumstance, something that doesn't come yet, it says surely, and I'd like to compare sometime the times that he says perhaps in the context and the times he says surely, where it's a little more sure. Sometime you should try to check that out because I'd like to see what he considers as sure, what he considers as perhaps.
Anything he doesn't know is perhaps.
Okay,
gotta perhaps.
Okay, this is the garden which we bequeath to some of our servants who were fearing. We do not descend except by the command of your Lord. Okay, who's we? Who's descending? We do not descend except by the command of your Lord. So somebody is descending by the authority of Allah. To him, what is between our hands and what is behind us and what is between that.
Well, actually, it's not a singular person. It's a plural person. We do not descend. So who are
it's
the...
kind of funny. It's like a twist on what Jesus says that only no one has gone up to heaven except the Son of Man who is descended and you know that passage.
So somebody named we needs permission from Allah to descend. To descend where? Okay. Except by the command of your Lord. So something is descending by the command of Allah to somebody that has something between his hands, something that's behind us. And what is between that? I have no clue. What is between that?
I mean, yeah. Like I keep saying, this is the kind of stuff fortune tellers say, which it has no meaning.
I mean, you can make this mean whatever you want.
Vague, you can make it anything you want. Yeah,
that's the Quran. The Quran is so vague they can put the Big Bang in there.
Oh, sad.
And your Lord was not forgetful. Does that imply that he has been forgetful?
Yeah, it does actually. It does imply that Allah is sometimes or has been forgetful. That's a good point.
Yeah. 65, Lord of the heavens and the earth and what is between them. So serve him and be patient in his service.
So that's again, if you need to think about him not forgetting, now all of a sudden you have a reason to be patient.
Hold on a second. Let me check and see. Okay, everybody's still in the back. Okay. Okay. And okay. Do you know to him a name? What? I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to prepare some special effects. Okay, 66. And the humans whoa. And the human says, only one human? After I am dead, will I come out alive? Oh no, you're dead.
Wait a minute. How is
I
the
think
human saying this if he's dead?
it may have been it should have been translated person, but let me double check it and I'll let you know.
And the human says after, because maybe he's saying it before he's dead. After I'm dead, will I come out of what alive? The grave?
I don't know. Could be. This is the book that's clear, so that's why I'm gonna have fun with the
Oh,
Muslim
that's so
tonight.
much mud.
I'm gonna have fun with the Muslim tonight, trying to see how he's
I
gonna
think
prove
it's
me.
just he's talking about a random rhetorical question, saying basically, is a person gonna say after he's dead he's gonna come back, or I don't know
This is
where it doesn't fit in. That's the thing. It makes no sense. But
so. We talked about how it almost alludes to the concept of reincarnation, which is it's kind of mind numbing that seems to be in. I mean, we've seen a couple passages where it almost alludes to that.
it's funny how this last like kind of section has been so many random rhetorical questions and parables without an answer.
I can't call them parables because they don't have any meaning.
It's just questions. I think he's asking us to
If
help
you
him
call
out.
these things parables, no matter who you are, I don't care Muslim or what, or and you're quoting someone who claims their parables have meaning, deep meaning, and if you can figure out what the meaning is here in anything we've read, something's up because you either are, I mean, you're not an interpreter, you're not a translator. Okay, if you're interpreting. You're blowing smoke is my best way to put it because there's nothing there to give you any teeth. I mean, to an interpretation, there's nothing.
Okay,
This is like reading a con man stuff. I mean, they give you all this vague stuff in the belief that you will see something and say it connects to something. Moses, I think Muhammad was a great con man if this is what he did.
We're in 67.
The funny thing is I get it. I know that he's not the one that first directly wrote it, so it just with all the chaos in it, in a way it makes sense that it's this messed up.
Yes.
Oh, it gets even better.
Yes, that's it. That's
Does the human not remember that we created him before and he was not anything? Well, how can I remember?
How can he
what was
remember before? I mean, that's just kind of crazy.
Is he talking about?
Okay, this is a blatant statement that Allah doesn't have all the answers. Does the human not remember that we created him before? How could he do that? It's not possible.
I mean, is Allah speaking to people in the hereafter judgment day?
I look at it this way. Allah is asking a question to show how ignorant Allah is.
Okay. Now, I think in the Arabic, there is no I swear, but I'm going to use it. So I swear by your
I'll
Lord.
look at it.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah, because that's why he has it in brackets. Yeah.
No. I mean, like the context that he meant. I know that it's not there, but I'll check it.
Okay, so while you're doing that, so I swear by your Lord, we will surely gather them and the Satans. Oh, wait a minute. So this can't be Allah because look at what it says. So I swear by your Lord. It doesn't matter if you take out the I swear and then it says, so by your Lord, we will surely gather them and the Satans. So that means Allah's got a Lord.
And then he's gathering devils.
So by your Lord, so this Lord is giving Allah the permission to gather them and the Satans. Then we will bring them surrounding hell on their knees.
It really is badly written. I
So
don't even think Arabic would be.
Allah has a Lord.
Yeah.
Because no God would say, so by your
Wait,
Lord,
Allah has
lead.
committed shirk again?
I guess so. Maybe Allah is the Trinity. He just doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag. All right, 69. Then we will seize from each sect those of them who have been strongest in rebellion. So apparently there's going to be sects of, I guess, Muslims or infidels or whatever, against the merciful. Now, how can you, I mean, seriously, how can you rebel against God? That's going to bother God? I mean, he could just go snap a Rooney.
Well, rebellion against God, it does matter, but the issue here is that when we will cease from each sect of those who have been strongest in rebellion, again, strongest in rebellion against the merciful. So, and again, this is again my issue here is not that they're rebelling. It's the concept here that it's so vague. We will see from each sect, and they're not telling about who we're talking about, not mentioning a name, not mentioning anything about who these people are. The strongest of each sect of those of them, no name mentioned whatsoever, has been strongest in rebellion against the merciful. Okay, so is this another reason for him to not have mercy? Because he doesn't like to have mercy. We know that he likes to torture people. I mean, he's the one who keeps saying he likes to torture people.
Okay, 70. Then surely we know of those who are most deserving to be roasted. Somebody's getting roasted?
Is that him saying he wants to torture somebody, or is that? I mean, the roasted has another meaning in English, where we roast somebody by making fun and lifting them up in the as good. We're saying nice things about a roast in English, at least in America. When we're talking about humans. We're talking about you have somebody who's being honored, and you're making fun of them, in kindness, telling jokes and stuff, but nothing. I think Allah's concept of this is pure torture.
Yeah. Okay. All Muslims will burn in hell for a while. Only the fear of Allah will ever get out. But wait a minute. Don't all Muslims fear Allah?
Well,
I mean,
that says something. Only the most devout is what I think that means.
yeah. So Muslims,
So
you're in for a roasting. All right, 71.
yeah.
And there is none of you who will not go down into it. I'm assuming for his hell.
Let me just check. I gotta get my mouse over there. Hell, yep.
So the context of it here is is he addressing a certain amount of people in like real time that will be
We're
going
looking at
there,
verse
or
68
is it
again.
all time? Because I'm confused.
Verse 68 you're talking about?
No, about after that. So right here in 71 it says, and there is none of you who will not go down into it. So is he addressing a specific group in a certain time, or is this a
Again, Allah doesn't know. And this is like I keep saying con man stuff, because it's so vague. There's nothing. There's just nothing there. I mean, you can't even write a story this bad, because no publisher will listen to you. They throw it back at you and laugh because there's no details. And if you can't put details into a story, no one will read it unless they're forced to by a faith structure.
Maybe if Allah's book would have been 800,000 words, we might be able to understand, because that's roughly about the size of the Bible, the 66 books. Okay, none of you, okay, and there is none who will not go down into hell. So everybody is going to hell and roast for a little bit.
Yeah, because that's what I didn't understand, if it was a specific group of people or...
No, it's everybody.
All Muslims, all Muslims. This is a declaration of all followers of Islam.
So even Muhammad, even, I guess,
yes,
Isa,
Muhammad's going
Jesus.
to be roasting.
Yeah.
But it's funny, because I'm not sure if it's Quran or if it's a hadith, where if you die as a mujahideen, then you bypass the resurrection and you go straight to Allah's Jannah, which kind of doesn't make any sense. But hey,
It's one big contradiction.
I know. The Quran and Islam is a
Another
walking
abrogation.
contradiction. This was an unavoidable decree of your Lord's. All right. So you guys are going to hell because Allah says you're going to hell. Then we will deliver those who fear and warn the unjust in it on their knees. So, okay.
So wait a minute. So he's going to warn. They'll deliver
Oh,
the
not
people
him,
who
you
are the
are.
most devout. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah,
Those who fear,
you.
those going to be the most devout, and warn the unjust.
Right. So the ones that Allah is going to pluck out of hell after they've been roasting, and got a nice suntan, those are going to be taken out of hell, and they're going to be on their knees warning the unjust. You see what happens to you? And when we recite our clear verses to them, those who became infidels said to those who believed, which of the two groups are in the best position and in fairer company? Allah, if you recited clear verses, I would be a Muslim. I would not be doing this crap and racking my brain cells. Okay. And how many generations have we destroyed before them who surpassed them in furnishings and appearances?
Well, I'm guessing here's another case where Allah doesn't know.
Why is he asking me how many generations? I don't know. I haven't seen Allah destroy any generations.
That's an interesting point. So if Allah doesn't know if he destroyed a singular generation, and he's asking about multiple generations, we have a problem. Allah really doesn't know.
Say, whoever was in error. So the merciful will lengthen out to them a length until when they see what they are promised, whether the torment or the hour, so they will know who is in the worst place and the weaker armies. What the?
Does that make any sense whatsoever? Whoever
Not
was
at
in
all.
error. Okay. Whoever was in error. Okay, now we're talking about something else. So the merciful will lengthen to them a length of what? Lengthen out them to them a length until when they see, again, we're talking about something totally different here now. When they see what they are promised, that doesn't make any sense at all. Whether the torment or the hour, so they will know who is. This is what I call gobbledygook.
And what's this with the weaker armies? What do armies have to do?
Well, because Allah likes the idea of thinking he's stronger, so he likes to beat up on. He's like a bully, and if you're stronger, you can beat up on others. I think that's his concept.
76, and Allah will increase guidance to those who were guided, and the lasting good deeds. But wait a minute, Allah just said a good deed. Now he's good deeds. Okay, I'm confused. Do I do one deed or do I have to do a whole bunch of deeds?
Well, maybe that's why they had a correction made for that earlier passage.
And the lasting good deeds are better rewarding with your Lord and a better return. Better return of what?
My question is, what are the lasting good deeds? Because the other one, it was just a singular one. And maybe the singular one was better than the lasting good deeds.
I mean, I don't know, 77. Have you seen who became an infidel in our verses and said, I will surely be given money and son?
Me, I become an infidel after reading this. Okay, I'm being tortured, please.
Oh, okay. I have not seen who became an infidel in Allah's verses. Have you seen who became an infidel in our verses and said, who? I will surely be given money and son. Okay.
So if you become an infidel, you get money and a son. Yeah, maybe because you get out of Islam, you now are showing that you have intelligence, and that shows you are able to earn money, and that means you can find a woman who would be interested in you because now you can earn money. I mean, if you're staying in a faith that is based on this book, you're doing something that is not wise for you. Yes, it's
Yeah, but
crazy.
does Allah not like females? And how come you say money and son? What happened to money and a son? Or maybe offspring, why just son?
Well, no women allowed, I guess.
What happens if you
Have a daughter?
you have more or something like that? All right,
No
78.
daughter allowed there, I
Yeah.
guess.
Does he have knowledge of the unseen, or has he made a covenant with the merciful? Who?
Sounds like Allah doesn't know again. Allah doesn't know if he has any knowledge. Allah doesn't know if he's made a covenant. Wait a minute. Who are we talking about? Who is talking here?
I have no clue. It's supposedly Allah, because I don't see the
So if
word
Allah
who.
is talking, Allah doesn't know if he has knowledge of the unseen. Allah doesn't know if he's made a covenant with somebody higher than him
I mean, he could be talking
called the
about
merciful.
he could be talking about the have you seen who became an infidel? And he's saying, does he have knowledge of the unseen, or has he made a covenant with the merciful?
Wow.
But this is Allah speaking. 79. Certainly not. We will prescribe what he will say, and will lengthen to him the time of the torment. So Allah's going to tell you what to say while he's tormenting you and increasing
He's tormenting
your
us now by us reading this.
And we will inherit from him what he says, and he will come to us alone. Who?
What are we inheriting?
Who's coming? Okay, and he will come to us. Is us Allah? And he will come to us alone. Who? What the hell is Allah talking about here?
We will inherit. Who's inheriting? Who's the we here?
I'm assuming the we here is Allah, and Allah will inherit from him what he says. How do you inherit words?
Okay, you inherit from what somebody says, and I would get it. That would be the people. It would be inheriting. We will inherit. You're giving the followers of Sharia would inherit from him, which would be from Allah, what Allah says, and he will come to us alone.
Hold on a second.
So Allah goes to the Muslims alone. Yeah, that's right, because Allah doesn't like anybody who doesn't agree with him.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm back.
No problem. I have to go back and forth just to make sure everybody's okay. I have no clue. And they took gods rather than Allah, so that they become strength to them. Okay. Certainly not. They will be infidels by serving them, and they will be turning against them. Okay. They will be turning against what? The idols? Allah? Okay. Allah sends Satan, demons, to urge people to sin. Isn't this just a tremendous good guy? Have you not seen that we send the Satans against the infidels to incite them incitingly? So
Allah don't understand poor speech.
Yeah.
One of the things writers try not to do is use a word. We all fight with it. If you're a good writer, you don't have to think about it as much. But incite them incitingly. Does he not know any synonyms? Or very limited speech is what it keeps showing me.
But what a nice guy. He's going to send the Satans to the infidels to incite them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the infidels' fault. It's Allah's fault sending the demons.
And incite them with what? If they're already...
I have no clue.
And incite them with what? Because they're pretty much already infidels. Why put the cherry on top?
I have no clue.
Was there a cherry put on top? They've already decided not to follow him. So sounds like they made an intelligent decision, if you ask me. He's setting Satan's against the infidels because he's powerless. Is that what it sounds like? Allah is powerless here. He has to result to the, an enemy unless now Satan is his good guy.
This gets even better. So do not hasten against them. Surely we only count to them counting. What the hell does that mean?
Okay, wait. When you're an accountant, do you count to them counting?
No, haven't yet, but I might after this book.
Okay, we only count to them counting. I can't make any sense of that. I'm
I
sorry.
I have no
I
clue.
don't like numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't
Right.
like them. I'm just not really good at them. And if it sounds to me like Allah's not very good at them either.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is the book that Muslims tell me I will become a Muslim after I read it. I'm reading this and I'm scratching my head. I'm losing
No,
my
no,
hair.
we're reading it and we're being tortured by reading it.
Surely we only count to them counting. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And
As mud, clear as
in an
mud.
altered reality, this might make sense, but I don't know. A day we will gather the fearing to the merciful group. Okay, so there's a merciful group. And we will drive the criminals thirsty into hell. Oh, you guys ain't getting no water.
Oh, you're gonna burn and you're gonna be thirst. Oh gosh, okay, all right.
Meanwhile, compare this with the Psalms. Like, instead of repeating all these words and not getting any meaning, you got words that, within the actual Hebrew language, they sound good and they all have a meaning and they don't need to be repeated.
Yeah,
If
but
we got rid of the repetition here, we would have
the problem is these don't
most of the Quran
sound
would be
good.
gone.
There's nothing that I mean, there's nothing that can spice this crap up. Okay, they will not have the intercession except those who took a covenant with the merciful.
Intercession for what? Except those. I mean, again, they will not have. If you intercession is prayer for someone or something for some reason, and Allah has no details here because He doesn't know anything about intercession. I mean, they will not. They will have the intersection except those who took a covenant. It shows Allah doesn't know what intercession is. He doesn't know what a covenant is. It just very clear that Allah is an unknowing God.
Oh, check this out. Heaven will be torn apart and the earth will split from saying, God has a son.
Hey,
Well,
wait a minute.
there's over
Kufar, have you ever seen the Earth talk?
no, but it's not basically what I'm understanding is the earth should have already been split because there's over 2 billion people saying God has a son. The heaven hasn't been torn apart. So
Yep.
Allah is a little behind time, bro. Get with the program.
Hey,
I
it's
have not seen.
2022,
Yeah.
and there are literally millions of believers in Jesus, and who say God has a son. But I read this as the earth actually saying it, not the people on the earth. Heaven will be torn apart, and the earth will split from saying God has a son. So if the earth has to split because it says God has a son, again, this is so poorly written.
Well, you got a point there, but
But it's also an argument for Christianity right here.
Yeah.
That it's gonna split. That's funny. I lost it, but I'll figure it out. I gotta read it again. It's so confusing.
Well, they split the moon. Now they're splitting the earth, and the heavens will be torn apart. But the heavens are not a physical thing. Space is not a physical thing to be torn apart. You can't take a knife and slice the heaven and say, "Oops, I got to stitch it back up." The heavens might almost be torn apart. What do you mean the heavens might? Didn't you just say up here, heaven will be torn apart? Then you tell me the heavens might also be torn apart? Didn't he just contradict himself?
Where are you reading? I'm sorry. I lost
Well,
my
87 says heaven will be torn apart and the earth will split. But then in verse 90, it says the heavens might also be torn apart from it.
It's funny because if you think about it too, it's almost like an archaeological prophecy for the proof that God has a son.
That is interesting because everything he's saying here, I mean, he's saying the concept that God has a son can be said, and if the earth doesn't split, then God has a son. Yeah, I think that actually. Yeah, I can see that.
Did you see the mistake here or the contradiction? First, he tells me the heavens will be torn apart.
Yeah.
Then in 90, he says the heavens might also be torn apart. Which is it?
This is where I get it. Allah doesn't know. He keeps showing us what he doesn't know.
And the earth splits, okay, and the mountains fall into pieces. because they
Sorry.
so okay, because they ascribe a son to the merciful. So are you saying that the earth's going to split and the mountain's going to fall into pieces because the mountains and the earth say that Allah has a son? I don't get the idea that this is people talking, or that the people.
I
Because
guess
if
it's the
Allah,
earth. That's what I was saying. I thought it was physically the earth saying it.
well, but 90, you get the impression that that the earth splits and the mountains fall into pieces because they ascribe a son to the merciful. Nowhere does Allah say, and the earth splits and the mountains fall to pieces because the people or the infidels ascribe a son to the merciful. That would make more sense. Here, I'm getting the impression the earth and the mountains
I
are the
think there's
ones
another
that are
problem
giving
here.
Allah a son.
Allah doesn't know that living matter does not come from, Allah doesn't see there's a difference between living and non-living things.
Okay, hold on a second. Somebody dropped out again. All right, this time it was Eric. I mean, jumbo mumbo. Oh my God. Okay, because they ascribe a son to the merciful, it must not be to the merciful that he takes a son. How dare we say that Allah has a son?
He sounds like he's confused.
That all what is in heavens and the earth but comes to the merciful as a slave. So the earth is a slave to Allah. Okay, 94. Indeed, he counted them and numbered them, numbering. Okay, all right. Anybody figured out what that's talking about? He counted them and numbered them, numbering. Okay.
I guess he knows how to go 1,
Now, what
2,
did he count? Did he count the
3.
heavens? Did he count the heavens and the earth? I mean, how many earths do we have?
What do we know that he counted here officially?
I
Because
have
I
no
don't know
clue.
what he's counting. Do you?
And all of them will come to him on the resurrection day alone. So the earth and the mountains are going to go to Allah alone. I mean, this thing has no
He was just talking about
flourish.
mountains and the earth, so that's the implication. And then we would be numbering the mountains, but I don't. It just doesn't. It's so unclear. Clear as mud is the best place to leave that. I guess there's nothing there that makes sense.
Okay, and all of them will come to him on the resurrection day. Surely those who believed and did good deeds, the merciful will make for them friendship. Okay. So surely we made it easy with your tongue so that you may give the good news. We don't know what this good news is. By it to the fearer and warn by it a contentious people. And how many generations have we destroyed before them? Allah, you repeated that, and my answer was, I don't have a clue. Can you feel one of them? Feel who? Or
Feel what?
whisper from them?
Are we talking about a generation?
I don't have a clue, but alhamdulillah, we have finished chapter 19.
All right, going on to 20.
That's an ending. That's a great ending.
I know, man. Talk about an ending there. Okay, chapter 20. Taha. Is that kind of like aha? Oh, I see. Taha.
If I'm correct, that's not even in Arabic. Oh, okay. That's what you just said.
I just guessed that's what number 1 would say.
What is one? One
A word that
says
has no a non-Arabic word that has no meaning.
a word containing 2 Arabic letters without meaning,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
pronounced as the 4 letters above.
Yeah.
So what's funny here is the Quran has multiple uses of words that have no meaning, yet they claim that the Quran is clear.
And it starts off with an unclear, 2 unclear words. Okay, number 2. We did not send down on you, that's gotta hurt, the Quran, that you become miserable. I'm miserable just reading this. And, okay, I put an end there. Okay, We did not send down on you the Quran. Well, we know the Quran is not something that was sent down. It was revealed that you become miserable, except as a reminder for him who fears. So the Quran can't remind anybody who doesn't fear Allah.
So are you
Descending,
saying that the Quran? I mean, I can almost agree with what the Bible can communicate to us because it's a little. I don't think it's. I think the Holy Spirit communicates to us what's in the Bible rather than the Bible communicating to us. If they're saying the Quran can actually talk, or in some respect, we got a problem here. Again, we have Allah not knowing the difference between living and non-living things.
descending from who created the earth and the high heavens. Now we got high heavens. Okay.
We're back into Gnosticism.
The merciful sat on the throne.
Oh, he's got that big butt. He's got to sit on that big throne.
Big butt with the 8 angels, because after all, the sun prostrates underneath Allah's throne. To him, what is in the heavens, and what is on the earth, and what is between them, and what is under the ground. Oh my God! I think
What are we even talking about?
I have no clue.
To him, what is in the heavens, what is on the earth, what is between what?
And if you speak loud, so surely he knows the secret and what is hidden. So
did you learn anything from reading this?
But here's the deal. Listen, everybody, don't speak loud. Then Allah won't know the secrets and what's hidden. Because he only knows the secret and the hidden if you speak loud.
That sounds like a very
Allah, there is no God but him. To him, the best names. Again, I don't see say. I have not seen say. So is Allah saying to Allah, there is no God but him? Ooh, interesting.
So Allah is the only one who's, so Allah is telling himself he's his own God?
I guess he likes to.
That's what we call it. That sounds like something a sock puppet might say.
Okay, here we go again. Moses again. The story of Moses is copied from the Bible and corrupted once again. Notice that the location of the fire is in the valley of Tuah, but the Bible indicates that it was on the mountain of God, Horeb. You can look that up in chapter Exodus 3, verses 1 through 5. And have the saying of Moses come to you? Who's he talking to? He ain't talking to me because Moses has been dead. When he saw a fire, so he said to his family, stay. Surely I perceive a fire. The guy was very astute. He saw a fire, but he perceives a fire. Perhaps that I may bring you a lighted torch from it or find guidance.
I don't think that, I mean, this is just so far out there. So Moses sees a burning bush. And if you think and God tells him to take off his shoes because he's on holy ground, and the bush is not burning. It is on fire, but the bush is not burning. If you think a guy, any human being, would have the bravery or the ability to stand up, hey, let me get a light.
I mean, does Moses Moses couldn't build a fire and light a torch without going to this mysterious fire?
This guy, you talk about corrupted stories. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So when he came to it, he was called, oh, Moses. So does that mean that Moses wasn't called Moses until he got to the fire? What was Moses' name before he got to the fire? Surely I am your Lord. So take off your sandals. Surely you are in the holy valley of Tuah.
Wait a minute. That's not true.
No, of course it's not true. And I have chosen you, so hear what will be revealed. Surely I am Allah, There is no God except me. So serve me and perform the prayer for my remembrance. So Moses only
What
had to
prayer
do
are we
one
talking about?
prayer.
Because I don't remember seeing anything about a prayer for remembrance.
I have no clue. And apparently Moses only had to do one prayer. Muhammad was a sucker. He had to do 5 prayers.
But then why did Moses in that one hadith tell Muhammad to do 5 prayers?
Well, yeah, he had to keep. Well, that's the beauty of Islam. Nothing is. But here it gets even better. Surely the hour is coming. Okay, does Allah not know what? Surely the hour is coming.
Allah doesn't know if it's coming.
Moses was what, 1500 BC. So over 3,500 years, the hour still hasn't come. But he tells Moses, surely the hour is coming. I almost hit it. That every soul may be rewarded for what it strives. Wait a minute. Allah hid the hour? Where'd he put it? In his back pockets?
But he almost hit it. I mean, he doesn't.
He almost, so he
He
didn't
was
hide it.
incapable of hiding it.
So,
I mean,
so why is it taking so long for this hour?
It's funny. It kind
hour?
of sounds like people are able to know the hour that's coming, and he didn't like hide it. It's like they're kind of they some people know the date and know the day, and he decided not to
because
hide it.
Allah's not competent. He can't. He almost hit it. He didn't have the ability to.
All right,
You know.
16. So do not let those who do not believe prevent you from it, and follow his desire, so that you shall perish.
Those who do. Okay, I got to try this one. So do not let those who do not believe prevent you from what?
Well, okay. So do not let those that implies that we're talking about a group, okay, who do not believe prevent you from it, and follow
What were
his.
being prevented from?
Follow his, but we're talking about a group of people. So who's his? It should say, and okay. So do not let those who do not believe prevent you from it, and follow their desires, so that you shall perish.
It's still it doesn't work. I just don't see it working any way. You'll go around it. It just doesn't make sense. Again, con man language.
17. And what is that in your right hand, O Moses? I don't know what does Moses have in his right hand. Allah doesn't know Moses has a rod in his right hand. But I guess they could use that against us in Genesis.
Maybe Allah needs to wrap him upside the head,
Where
or the other way around. Moses needs to wrap up his sock puppet on it.
Where Muslims will tell you God didn't know where Adam and Eve were hiding it. Okay, 18. He said, "It is my rod which I lean on, and with it I beat by it."
Okay, just a second. Sorry. Verse 2. Where is my mouse? There we go. To bring leaves down from the tree for the sheep. That is bizarre.
Okay, so it is my rod which I lean on, and which I beat the leaves off the trees to my sheep so they can eat. And I have other uses for it. I bet you do, Moses. I bet you do. Like beating the crap out of rocks. He said, "Cast it down, O Moses." But wait a minute. This gets even more entertaining. Cast it down, O Moses. So he cast it down. So behold, it became a serpent that slithers. But wait a minute. Didn't Moses do that in front of Pharaoh?
Why are we this?
Where's the Pharaoh?
Who's he casting this rod? It doesn't. Yeah, again, it's one thing to tell a story, but to get it so wrong.
I mean, Allah's telling the story about what Moses did in front of Pharaoh and his magicians,
but he's not in front of Pharaoh.
But here, he's telling Moses to cast down the rod, but this is in front of the burning bush.
I think it was, but
it actually happened. He did do this in front of the burning bush.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he actually did do this in front of the burning bush.
It was a trial run to make sure that Allah could get it right.
But the problem is this trial run that he's talking about now. He's already talked about the actual implementation. So why are you talking about the trial run after? This is because Allah doesn't get things in
Okay.
chronological order.
So
I keep saying Allah is chronologically impaired.
all right. He said, "Take it and fear not. We will restore it to the first state." Okay. "And gather your hand to your wings." What's number 3?
Just a second. All right. Find the mouse there. And I just had it. Mousy, where are you?
Let me go over
Here
here.
we go. Side. Just the word side.
"And gather your hands to your sides." Sides?
Side, singular.
Oh, but here it says wings would be plural.
Well, we're talking about Allah. He doesn't know how to speak in Arabic
Okay.
correctly.
I'll just check it in the Arabic because this is confusing.
Yeah.
It will come out white without evil as another sign, that we may show you some of our bigger signs. Okay, so now after the hand sliding magic show and the rod becoming a snake, now he goes to Pharaoh. "Go to Pharaoh, surely he has transgressed. He said, my Lord, enlarge my chest and make my affair easy for me."
I mean, that
And
almost sounds like he's trying to have some sex on the side there.
I don't know,
But
man. "And loose the knot from my tongue." Well, that's got to hurt, but okay. "That they may understand my saying." But Moses was a highly educated guy. He was
a prince.
the prince of Egypt. And all princes and kings are highly educated. He had the best of the best, but here, yeah, Moses,
So some of the translations, instead of saying sides, they said your armpits. So it kind of makes sense though. Like I'll give it the credit because he's saying, take your hand and put it to your wings or like under or whatever. But the thing with it
yeah.
is that's not even correct because in the Bible it didn't say that. He put his hands, I think, in his pants or pocket or something, and then he came out and it was like a leper, not just white.
Yeah, leprous. And so he put his hands in his bosom. So he puts his hands around
Put it
his chest,
inside his,
inside his
And it
whatever he
didn't
was
come
wearing.
out like it's not just white. Okay, white in what context? Like,
Yeah.
shining light? No, it came out as a leper in the Bible.
It was a flashlight. Hey, Paul. Paul, can you take over? I
Yes.
got to go check on the beast.
All right.
Let me mute myself in case I have to give her.
Okay, we are on. Wow. Okay.
23.
23. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was laughing when he said this, that we may show you some of our bigger signs. Really, I mean, so this is the little bitty thing. Okay, I get that it's a little bitty thing, but is the goal here to really show bigger signs? I mean, was the goal to really put, the plagues on Egypt as signs?
He doesn't have to say it either. Like, I don't think he said that in the biblical account. He's just doing it, and there's a reason he's doing it. Here, it's just like, these are little. We'll do it. Let's
we show
expect
you
for
the
more.
big stuff. Oh my gosh! Go to Pharaoh. Surely he has transgressed. Okay. Pharaoh has sinned. All right. He said, "My Lord, enlarge my chest." Why would you? Yeah. Okay. And make my affair easy for me. That's what he had read, and I gave him a hard time. And loose the knot from my tongue, that they may understand my saying. For those who don't know, Moses had a stuttering problem. That's why Aaron went with him. Aaron would speak for him. Moses begged God to let Aaron speak for him. And, God didn't want that, but Aaron would do that. And that's the story behind that. And I'm pretty sure that Allah only has part of the story here. It says, "And loose the knot from my tongue, that they may understand my saying, and make me a prince from my family. He's already a prince. You get born a prince. You don't get made a prince. Is this too difficult for Allah to understand? Aaron?
It's like I said a few days ago. It's pretty much when he's on his caravan journeys, Muhammad, and he just picks up random stories. He's like, "I heard this sounds good. Let me add this. Let me add that." And then however way it's reiterated, whether it's true or not, that's how it's added.
I don't think he can ever remember a full story correctly. I think that's one of the reasons he gets constantly mocked.
That's why. It reminds me of the opposite part that when Zechariah was barren, I mean, was old age and his wife was barren, but then another one was saying, she was old and he was, yeah. I mix it up. There goes me being all again.
I think it's funny because everybody knows somebody in their life that never gets. They can tell a joke, but they always forget like the end part of it, and like, please don't try and tell us another joke. Please don't. And that person never gets it right. Well, this is what we have with Muhammad. He never tells the story right, so he gets mocked out constantly. That is something we have seen over and over again. And it's in the Surahs. It's in the Hadiths. It's in this book. He's constantly getting mocked out because he can't get the story straight. Well, here we've just seen evidence that he can't get the story straight. Let's keep going.
I'm back, guys.
We're at verse 20, verse 30.
Verse 30. I see.
Aaron,
again, why is it so split?
Aaron,
why can't it be one context?
Yeah. Aaron, my brother, increased my strength by him, and I partner him in my affair. Okay, so like I just said, he's Aaron's going with him because Moses stutters and he's embarrassed about his stuttering. That we praise you much. I don't know who's getting praised here. And remember you much. Remember who? Surely you were a seer of us. Wait a minute. This is one of those questions I have. Who's speaking here? If we have Moses being the one that's speaking, and make me a prince from my family, Aaron, my brother, increase my strength by Aaron, okay, and I partner him in my affairs. This is, again, if we take this as Moses, that we praise you much, because praising Allah, and remember you much. Surely, if Moses is the one speaking, we have a problem here. Surely you are a seer of us. So who's the seer if Moses is... This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think Allah knows what a seer is.
I agree with you.
Otherwise, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Another example of Allah doesn't know.
I just had a Muslim.
Can you get me that verse again? The one with
That's
the seer?
verse 35.
35, okay.
Yeah, it's a very small one. And Moses is also talking in the past.
Well, I mean, there is, I hate to admit it, but this is the incompleteness of it's an incomplete story. They didn't tell you that Moses stuttered. It tells you that in Genesis. All right. We know that because in Genesis, it says that. And increase my strength. Yeah, I would say Moses does kind of increase his strength because Aaron has a voice that projects. He's known for his speech, the quality of his speech. So his voice sounds nice.
Again, it's whenever the stories are copied, the main essential details to why certain things are there, they're just not mentioned. Just like you said earlier when you questioned Muslims saying who is Israel, who is Jacob, how do you link them both together, and the Quran never says that. The same thing. Almost in every story, there's like the most important details missed.
Yes. I mean, it's sad. So I think we're on 36. He said, "Oh, Moses, indeed, you are given your request." And indeed, we put on you a favor another time. Oh,
Well, that
you
makes
are
no
given.
sense.
Moses, indeed, you are given your request. We don't know what Moses asked right now.
Well, I think it's. I think we did read it where he asked for his tongue to be untied
Okay, so
and to
if he's
enlarge
asking
his
for his
chest
tongue to be untied, is that, I mean, that's it. We're in trouble.
so that the people can understand him.
Wow.
And it kind of sounds like when he says another time, he has to ask for his tongue being untied every time.
He didn't say, inshallah.
Go
All right, you want to continue or you want me to pick back up?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, 37. And indeed, we put, well, you read that, but this makes no sense. And indeed, we put on you a favor another time. So what was that favor? Because obviously this is not the first favor.
I mean, all I can get out of that is Allah
Oh,
owes
okay.
him a favor.
Now, okay, kind of makes sense now, but it doesn't make sense. When we revealed to your mother what is revealed, that cast him into the, whoa, Moses was cast into the ark?
I won't
The
say that terminology is wrong because he's put into a basket that floats on the river.
Yeah, but
It's
a
funny.
basket in the ark.
Someone commented something here, and it says this is why it says go ask the Christians to do about what you don't know. It's because he doesn't know. He says go ask.
I mean, why can't he say cast him into the ark or cast him into, or casting means you threw the poor guy into the ark, right? It didn't say place him into the ark or into the basket. So cast him into the river. When you cast something, you throw it. I don't recall Moses being thrown. His
No,
mother
it
was
was
actually
gently put in
his sister.
by his.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the story. The mother puts it gently in, and again, you can't tell this from here. And she doesn't just abandon him. She sends his sister, his big sister, to follow at a distance, so to see what's going on. So I think the mother would be sitting there crying her eyes out, having done this, and the little girl's following because mommy says to do it, and hoping that mommy won't have to keep crying.
Cast him into the ark, so cast him into the river. That's a lot of casting. So
Wait, so you're throwing him into the ark? Okay,
and then you throw the ark into the river.
That child's brain dead by this point. You don't throw children, and then
So
you throw him into the ark. Then you throw. Wait, are you casting him into the ark, or are you casting him into the river? It's like there's two different things
casting
there.
him into the ark, then you cast him into the river. So the river will cast him to the shore. That's a lot of casting. I
It's
told
gonna
you.
be a dead baby. You're gonna toss the baby into the ark. The ark is solid. All right. And then you're gonna pick up that same ark you just threw a child into, and you're gonna throw it into the river. And again, children's heads are fragile. I mean, their brains are gonna be bouncing all over the place this way. It's not gonna work.
This gets even worse. An enemy to me and an enemy to him will take him, and I will bestow love on you from me. He will bestow love on who? Moses' mother or Moses?
And you will be made before. This makes so little sense.
And you will be made before my eyes. Made what?
Again, because it's so
Moses
vague,
was already made.
this vagueness that we keep seeing. Con man language.
I mean, Moses was already made. He didn't need to be made.
Maybe
Okay.
Allah doesn't know that.
When your sister walks, okay, so she will say, will I guide you to someone to take care of him?
Wait a minute. If she did that, she would be killed.
She would have been caught.
Yeah. And the mother would have been killed. The child would have been
The
killed.
sister didn't guide him. The sister was just making sure,
She's watching from afar.
Right. I will guide you to someone to take, okay. When your sister walks, so she will say, will I guide you to someone to take care of him? First of all, who is the sister talking to? Is his sister talking to Allah? Is Allah talking to his sister? I thought Allah doesn't talk to anybody.
I didn't think Allah talked to girls.
Yeah, they're half brain. So we returned you to your mother.
Just so people know, the half brain comment is something Islam says, that women only have half the mental faculties of a man.
Allah is missing so much of Moses' story. So he got thrown in the river cast him out. We don't know who took care of him, except somebody that's an enemy to Allah and an enemy to Moses. Okay, and then when your sister walks, she will say, will I guide you to someone to take care of him? So we returned you to your mother, so her eyes might be pleased and will not grieve. Man, there's a lot of story missing here, bro. What's up with you?
Tell them what's missing. That's just
the whole life story of Moses. He got found by the Pharaoh's daughter, who raised him as her own.
So what does Miriam do here? That she's actually this is where. So this, will I guide you to someone to take care of him? This could be a line that she may have actually said, but who does she say this to? She would be saying it to Pharaoh's daughter.
Right,
and she would be guiding it to the mother.
If I'm not mistaken, his mother is the one that breastfed him.
Yes, she nursed him. Yeah. And until Moses was weaned, his mother took care of him. All right. And this is, you can't tell this when you're reading the story. And if this is all you have, and this is the biggest problem I see here is Muslims don't read the Quran, and then they're told not to read the Bible, or not to read the Old Testament or the New Testament. But if you only have this garbage, I'm sorry, I can't call it much more. This vagueness written by a con man type language, where they constantly this vagueness, and it's just, you can't have the whole story. You can't understand 90% of what you're reading here. You don't know that you're being stolen from, because you don't know that the rest of the story. Oh, it's just sad. And it says, so we returned you to your mother, which is what the Pharaoh's daughter does, that, not Allah, to your mother, so her eyes may be pleased and will not grieve. That's not what, she couldn't, the mother could not allow anyone to know that was her son.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pharaoh's daughter figured it out.
Well, she did later on. Or at least in the movie she did. Yep. Okay. And you killed a soul, so we delivered you from the grief. And we seduced you with seditions.
Wait a minute. Who's the one who kills the soul?
I'm
the real story here. Moses kills an Egyptian for beating a Jew. Yeah, but again, you're missing the majority of the story here.
Yeah, and I don't think he killed him on purpose. I think the guy banged his head after
Not only that, Allah seduced him.
Yeah,
and we seduced you with sedition. Yeah. So you stayed years among the people of, it's supposed to be Midian. Because number 4 says,
oh my gosh,
close to the spelling of the name of the actual Midian people found in Exodus 3:1. Amen. Madian. Okay. Then you came as decreed. Okay. All right. Oh, Moses.
Wait a minute. Okay.
What the hell does that even mean?
So they have the burning bush happen way before he goes to Midian. So this story is, again, chronologically messed up. The burning bush happened before Moses is actually put in a... Oh, my gosh. This is a chronological mess.
Yeah, but how do you... What kind of sentence is this? Then you came as decreed, O Moses. Okay. We don't know how he was decreed. And I have chosen you for myself. Okay. Go you and your brother with my signs, and do not remember me less. Man, I want to remember you less every time I read your book.
Again, we're going back to the beginning now of this passage. We're
Yeah.
talking about signs. I mean, Moses, this story is so messed up. If I was to go tell a story like this, I would never be invited to publicly speak.
Yeah, you'd be fired.
Oh my! In fact, there would be warnings out there. Hey, there's an idiot on your way. On his way. Send him away. You don't want this guy speaking. That's exactly what. If you read this stuff to someone, they'd be thinking you were nuts. I mean, you couldn't get your story. Talk about not being able to get your story straight. Chronologically messed. It's like somebody took a crap and the story came out. I'm sorry. It's that bad. I'm just disgusted.
Okay, so go you and your brother with my signs, and do not remember me less. Go to Pharaoh. Surely he has rebelled. So I'm pretty sure that's not in there, but I'm going to go
How much do they remember him, though? It says don't remember me less.
So both speak to him. So both speak to him with gentle speech.
Yeah, I want to point out Mariam made an important point here. The scriptures, the real ones, don't indicate that the daughter of Pharaoh found out that her hired wet nurse was the mother of the baby. And that's true. I'm just throwing it out there. If you were a female, the only way you have the ability to give milk is that you have a baby. You've been pregnant. So yes. So this is, and they did have people who would do what's called wet nursing. So they would have a baby. They would get paid to nurse, and so in that respect, when they continued to nurse babies, they would be able to continue to produce the milk.
Okay, so 44. What makes this really bad is if you say the word that's in brackets, that makes it wrong. But if you say, so speak to him with gentle speech, because if you go and you say, so both spoke to him, it would be spoke, not speak. So I would forget about the bracket. So speak to him with gentle speech. Perhaps he will remember or fear. What's he supposed to remember?
I would say speak is present tense, spoke is past tense. So both speak to him with gentle speech. Yeah, that it would still work. Perhaps he will remember of fear. That doesn't make any sense. What did Allah do something to torture him so he'll remember it for a reason of fear? I mean, let's go to Pharaoh. Surely he has rebelled. So speak to him with gentle speech because he will remember or fear.
Perhaps.
Again, the God of perhaps.
45. They said, "Oh, our Lord." So I guess they both spoke at the same time. They said, "Oh, our Lord, surely we fear that he may exceed against us, or he may rebel." He said, "Do not fear. Surely I am with you. I hear and I see." Okay. So you both go to him. So say, "Surely we are messengers of your Lord."
Wait a minute. Okay. I'm sorry. Do not fear. Surely I'm with you. I hear, I see. So you both go to him and say, surely we're messengers of, again, who's the Lord here that they're talking about?
I don't know. But here's the thing. Allah in his Quran says to every nation, he sends a messenger. Why is he sending two messengers to the same nation? Surely we are messengers of your Lord's. Okay. So send us with the children of Israel. We don't know who Israel is. And do not torment them. Indeed, we have brought you a sign from your Lord, and the peace is on who follows the guidance. Surely, indeed, it has been revealed to us that the torment is on those who denied and turned away.
We don't even know who those denied are. We don't know if this is again. There's no telling of the 10 plagues. There's nothing here.
Okay. He said, now this is Pharaoh, "Who is your Lord, O Moses?" He said, "Our Lord is he who has given everything its creation, then guided it."
That doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
I think if someone came and spoke to me, "Our Lord is he who has given everything its creation, then guided it," I'd be looking at them strange, like, okay, who is your Lord? Our Lord is he who has given everything its creation. So wait a minute. There was creation. It doesn't tell me what it. That's so unclear.
I laughed so much at that. I felt like that's just bad.
51 is even better. He said, "Then what is the state of the first generations?"
Confused because Allah doesn't know what Allah doesn't know.
He said, I don't know who said, "Its knowledge is with my Lord in a book. My Lord does not err and does not forget."
And again, another book with the first generation that we don't have.
Ooh, look, the earth is flat. He who made the earth for you flat and traced out ways for you in it, and has sent down water from the heaven, so bring forth as pairs of different plants by it.
So do I got a problem here? If the earth is flat, when we discover it's round, does that just mean that the Quran should be tossed out the window because it's in error?
Now, Leia, could you verify that it really says flat?
Hold on, what verse? Okay,
53.
I got it. Yeah, 1 sec.
53. So that says something. If right here we have in the Quran, it says, "He who made the earth for you flat," I mean, has traced out the ways for you in it, and has sent down water from the heavens, so we bring forth pairs of different plants by it. And that doesn't altogether. That makes a bunch of gobbledygook again. There's nothing.
Wait a minute. So plants come in pairs. So there's two apple
Well,
trees.
there are male and female plants in a lot of species, but so a lot of times so you'll have some. It's not unusual for plants, a male and a female. There's some, not all of them. But you can take one plant and get another plant from it in a lot of cases too. And that's where asexual reproduction comes in. But there are male and female plants too.
Okay, well, she's doing that. 54, eat and pasture your livestock. Surely.
Wait a minute. I got a problem here. Again, we're going to chronologically impaired Allah. Are you going to pasture your livestock or are you going to eat them? I mean, do you want to feed them or do you want to eat them? I mean, that's you can't.
Well, maybe while you're having dinner, you pasture your livestock. Who knows?
Okay, that could be possible.
Surely, and this is a sign to those who have forbidding.
Forbidding what?
I don't know.
And what kind of sign are we talking about?
From it, we created you. From what? What the hell did he create you from?
Allah doesn't know.
And it. Oh, maybe he's saying, okay, so he's talking about the earth. From the earth. So from the earth we created you, and in it we will return you, and from it we will bring you forth another time. But wait a minute, I wasn't created from the earth. That was Adam. I was born, Allah. Indeed,
it's the same kind of statement where moms say, "I brought you into this world, I can take you out."
Yeah. And indeed, we showed him all our signs, so he denied and refused. I guess this is talking about Pharaoh refused the signs of Allah. Muhammad misunderstood which land the Israelites were to inherit. Yeah, they inherit Egypt. Did you know that? 50, 57. He said, "Did you come to drive us out from our land by your sorcery? O Moses."
So
Okay.
who's speaking here? He said is
This sounds like Pharaoh is telling Moses, "Did you come here to drive us from our land by your sorcery?" But we haven't seen any. So we will
Well, how
bring
do we know this is Pharaoh? This is, I guess, what I'm getting confused about.
well, because it's saying, "Oh Moses." I mean, it could be Allah, it could be Santa Claus, who knows? So we will bring a sorcery to you like it.
So again, we're in this chronological impairment.
So make an appointment between us. So you got to make an appointment so you can do your magic. Between us and you, we will not break, and neither will you, a central location.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
Nope.
I
He
mean, I get making
said,
an appointment. That makes sense. Okay. We will
he
not
said,
break, won't break the appointment in a central location. It's like, so they don't want to meet where they're supposed to meet. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is
he
bad.
said, your appointment is the adornment day. I don't know what that means. And the people will be gathered in the early afternoon. So Pharaoh turned away and collected his plots. Then he came. I don't think Allah knows
Wait
what
a minute.
his plots
So
are.
if Pharaoh collects his,
Yeah, what are
so
plots?
there's such a thing as plots of land.
Yeah.
There's schemes and plans and things like that.
He plotted or schemed.
Yeah.
Maybe he meant to say, and he collected his schemes and then he came. Okay, now I think the plots is referring to Pharaoh's magicians, because if you read 61,
I agree with you. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that makes sense here. But again, you wouldn't know that
Yeah.
if
No,
you're
you
reading
wouldn't.
this without having read the Torah.
Okay, 61. Moses said to them, "Woe to you! Do not forge a lie against Allah, so he will destroy you with a torment. And indeed, he who forged failed." Okay. So they disagreed among themselves in the affair and discussed their plan secretly. Oh, somebody's in the back. She got kicked out again.
Hey, so I got it. It's funny because the actual word isn't even flat, and it's not even what was said in there. It says, I don't even know if it's Arabic, but it says cradle or cot. Some say paved. I checked the like 7th century, between the 7th century to like the 12th century lexicon, and that's pretty much what it's saying: cradle, caught, and paved. So you could say pretty much flat, but I have zero clue why it says cradle or why it shows that.
Wow.
They said those two are sorcerers.
Where are we at? I'm sorry.
63.
Okay.
They want to get you out of your land by their sorcery and take away your good traditions. So gather your schemes, then come standing in line. And indeed, those who become exalted will prosper today. Now, I guess these are the magicians speaking. They said, "Oh Moses, will you cast, or will we be of those who will cast first?"
Again, this is Allah not knowing the actual story.
Yeah, but didn't we just hear Moses already cast his rod and it became a snake?
But I think that was the trial run, and then he had it actually happen, and now he has. It's just like
Allah
a
wanted
third
to
or
make
fourth
sure
retelling of the story, and he's doing it so badly. It's sad. It's
Okay.
torturous to us.
So,
Allah wanted to make sure he perfected his.
so I think the better context for the previous verse that says the flat, when it says the actual Arabic word mahdan, I think it's meaning to talk about in a context of it being yimahid, to prepare, which is why it says he lined out the roads and stuff. So I don't think he meant to say that it was flat. I just think he meant to say that it was preparing.
But if he's lining it out, that would imply flatness.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's that. I think it's him just preparing the way, as in like their direction for their, I guess, their tasks that they're doing.
But here's another problem. Allah didn't create any roads. Humans did. There were no roads on the earth before men made the roads and paved it. Allah fails again. Okay, so he said, "You cast." So their ropes and their sticks appeared to him as slithering from their sorcery. So Moses conceived a fear in his soul. Okay. We said, "Fear not." So Moses was afraid. "Surely you are the uppermost. And cast what is in your right hand. It will peck what they have produced. Surely they only produced the plot of sorcery, and the sorcerer will not prosper whatever he comes." That doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. Okay. In this version of the story, Muhammad said the Egyptian sorcerers became believers in the God of Moses. So the sorcerers fell down worshiping. They said, "We believe in the Lord of Aaron and Moses."
Never happened.
Never happened. Yeah, but that's in the corrupted Bible.
No. The corrupted thing here is this thing that is torturing us.
This is correcting the corrupted Bible. They became believers. Don't believe what the Bible says that they never believed, but that's okay. He said, "Have you believed in him before I gave you permission?" Oh, wait a minute. They need permission from Moses to believe? Wow.
Apparently, Moses overrules Allah now.
I guess so. "Surely he is your biggest who taught you the sorcery." Biggest what?
We don't even know why they believed. I mean, it just says they fell down worshiping. I mean, it doesn't say that. It doesn't tell you the full story about what happened with the snakes. So for those Muslims who are followers of Islam who are listening, the true story here is that if you read the Torah, you can find it in the book of Genesis. Moses cast down his rod. And then the two magicians, the sorcerers, come along and they do their dance and they cast down rods too. And they also become snakes. And Moses' rod, again, given, blessed by God, eats the other two snakes and swallows them whole. Okay. If you're one of these sorcerers are continually being brought forward in this story of Moses, in the book of Genesis. So there's no place where they fall down worshiping, but this is just a mess. Because if you just, this is the part that kills me. You read this story from where we started today, and it is just a hatchet job mess, chronological mess. It's just terrible. I'm sorry. It's just probably one of the worst retellings.
It's just Torah.
So Moses is going to kill these people because how dare they believe in Allah before Moses gave them permission? Now, I don't know what he means. Surely he is your biggest who taught you sorcery. Biggest what? So I will surely cut off your hands and your legs. Well, that's a big mistake. On the opposite sides. Wait a minute. You're cutting off both hands. That's not the opposite sides.
And your legs.
Leia, does it say hands and legs?
I'll go check it out. I hope it doesn't kick me out again.
Multiple
Verse
people.
71.
Yeah, just double check a little later. Make sure I'm not just down.
I remember going through this because I had to do this for it. It should have the plural there, and the issue here is that we're talking to multiple people, so he's talking about cutting off the hands of different individuals on multiple sides. But the way it's written, again, we have to look at the person as speaking Arabic on a second language perspective, and yeah.
All right, let me just look. Let me see.
So it should say cut off your hand and leg, but this is again this is a common mistake that we see with people learning languages as a second language. So
Let me
yeah,
see.
the funny thing when you think about that, if that's true, that this is so poorly written, it's written by someone who knows Arabic as a second language, you have to be wondering
So
why in the world did they say you have to read Arabic?
so not only is it correct, it also, if you remember, I don't know if you ever watched what Jay Smith was doing on like critiquing the origins, but he points out that crucifixion is a little too early to be in Moses'
way,
time.
way too
Just gonna
early.
say that
Yeah.
too. But yeah, it's word for word. That's fine. He does say opposite sides. Khalifa.
In my word for words, they kind of fixed it. It says, "So surely I will cut off your hands and your feet," which feet implies more than two because you got two. If it's one, it would be your foot.
Sorry, my bad. I meant to say Khilafan.
Yeah.
Said a completely
The
different word.
question is, are these legs or feet? Wow. That's a huge difference.
On the translation that I have here, it says hands and feet. Now we know hands is plural and feet is plural. So you can't cut hands and feet from opposite sides. You just cut both of them off.
Well, you can't explain that. Again, I blame this.
I want to see a Muslim explain to me how you are able to cut off your hands and your, well, he says legs, which I don't know. And I will surely crucify you on the trunks. Wait a minute. Okay.
How can you crucify someone before crucifixion exists?
Well, here's the other problem. And I will crucify you, unless that you is plural, on the trunks. Because if it's singular, then it would say, and surely I will crucify you on the trunk of a palm tree.
And you can be spread out on, wow.
Maybe he's spreading them out between two palm trees.
We have another problem here.
Yeah.
This has got to be a huge palm tree, pretty wide palm tree.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think you can put your arms, I mean, it's another example where Allah doesn't know what a palm tree looks like.
The only way that would be possible would be with your hands above your head.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So he doesn't know.
And nailed with your hands together above you.
Yeah.
And you will surely know which of us is more harsh in torment and more abiding. So Moses
Allah is harsh and Allah loves torment.
Moses is telling these guys, I'm going to cut off your hands and your legs because you believed in Allah before I gave you permission.
Doesn't sound like Allah likes people who don't know him.
Okay. They said, we will not choose you above what came to us of the proofs and him who created us. So judge what you judge. Surely you judge only in this, the world's life. I have no clue what this man is saying. All right, we got 7 minutes. Let me see. Okay.
We could stop any place you want.
All right. I was just trying to see. Okay. 73. Surely we have believed on our Lord that he may forgive us our sins and the sorcery which you compelled us to do. Who compelled them to do?
So Allah compelled them to do the sorcery, and he didn't even allow them to believe in him.
No, I think they're referring to Pharaoh, who told them to do the sorcery against Moses. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to disagree. It's just very confusing.
And Allah is better and more abiding. Allah is better than what? Allah is better than whom? Because if you say Allah is better, there's got to be competition. Who's his competition? Pharaoh?
Another God.
Could be. I mean, Allah has a
Lord. I think
Lord.
Yahweh is better. That's my thought.
Surely whoever comes to his Lord as a criminal, so surely he will receive hell. He will not die in it.
Hold on. But Moses was a criminal in this context because didn't he also kill the Egyptian?
Yeah, he was a murderer. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I guess Moses is going to hell. So surely he will receive hell. He will not die in it, and he will not live. Okay,
okay, what is the problem with this? He will not die in hell, and he will not live in hell. So he's never there.
Or he's in between. I mean, you either die or you live.
This one
And
has so this person, whoever comes to his Lord as a criminal, lives in limbo.
could be. You're in
I mean,
limbo.
maybe they have just created purgatory.
You're in between life and death. Okay, and whoever comes to him as a believer, indeed did good deeds. So those will have the higher degrees. Is that a PhD? Eden's gardens, under it, rivers flow.
We're back to the water under the ground.
Underneath. They abide in it forever. Okay. And this is the reward of the one who is purified.
Wait a minute, who's purified here?
I guess the people going to Eden.
But it says only one. This is the reward of the one who is purified. How did they get purified? It doesn't tell us anywhere here how he got purified.
Maybe the burning water. And indeed, we revealed to Moses to walk with my servants at night. So strike a dry way in the sea. Okay. Do not fear to be overtaken, neither be you afraid. Okay.
Boy, that's bad to read.
I think he's trying to refer to, the crossing of the sea, the Red Sea.
Okay.
And do not be overtaken, do not fear. Okay, but it doesn't say anything. So Pharaoh followed them with his troops. So covered them from the sea that covered them.
Well, that's okay. You talk about unneeded text. Oh my gosh.
So covered them from the sea that covered them. Yeah, that's makes perfect sense to me. And Pharaoh misled his people and did not guide. Oh, children!
Oh, it's all so now he's blaming Pharaoh, but I thought Allah here blamed. I mean, I thought Allah was misleading Pharaoh to begin with.
And okay. Oh, children of Israel, we don't know who Israel is. Indeed, we have delivered you from your enemy. And we made a covenant with you on the right side of the mountain.
We still don't know what's on the left side.
The left side is haram. And we caused the manna and the quail to descend on you. I hope they didn't poop on them. Eat of the good things which we provided to you, and do not rebel in them, lest my wrath falls on you.
So for the Muslims who don't know, this covenant where manna comes down, originally it was just manna. This is a type of bread. It's sweet that they wake up in the morning and it's on the ground. And the people have to go out and collect it. That is their entire food for the day. And on Friday mornings, they have to collect enough for 2 days. So, and that's something to think about. But then the only reason they get the birds, the quail coming, is because the people complain. Okay, we want meat. Okay, that's why the peasants come along. Again, the quails come along. This is just, again, you're missing so much of the story here if you want to put your faith in this.
Listen, come on, Paul. Allah is a busy man, so he had to squeeze the two in together.
Well, he did it so poorly he couldn't put it in chronological order. So I mean, it's bad enough he's a con man, but I look at it this way: if you can't tell something chronological order, you have a medical condition or you have a learning disability that is severe.
Okay, for on whom my wrath does fall, so indeed destroyed. And I am surely forgiving to who repented and believed and did good deeds. So we went from deeds, now it's a good deed. Then guided. Okay, incomplete sentence here. 83. And what has hastened you from your people, O Moses? I don't know. He said, they were following me closely, and I hastened to you, my Lord, that you
So
may be
Moses was running away
pleased.
from his
And ladies
people.
and gentlemen, on that note, we will leave it off. It's 8 o'clock. So we're on verse 85, the story of the Samaritan, which, by the way, didn't exist at the time of Moses, but that's okay because the Quran is here to correct the
That's because
Bible.
just like Allah, the Quran is chronologically impaired.
The Quran, lots of things. Exactly. Allah is so ignorant. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I don't think we had any sex bots tonight.
That'll be a first.
I wouldn't say it's a first. We've had a few. So, Layla, thank you for coming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, I've already scheduled the 3 shows tomorrow. We got one at 12 in the morning. Now, this is if nothing happens to me between now and then. Then we got one at 3 o'clock, so I get an hour break. So 12 to 2 is one show. I'm trying to keep it 2 hours. Then 3 to 5, and then I get an hour break. And then we come back, and I'm hoping Usama is here tomorrow.
I will definitely be at the 6th one, but I'm not sure about the other 2.
Okay. No problem. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it anyway. If you can, great. So if you can make it to any one of them or somebody else, if not, I will be talking to myself. And I will probably...
it's very, very hard to hear this for 6 hours. No,
we've done it before. We've done it before. If you look at
did it our first couple of shows.
Yeah, if you look at the first ones, they range from over 4 hours to about 6 hours.
Yeah. It was hard.
And then we cut it down because XYZ, or was it XYZ?
So they were telling us we needed to 2 hours.
Yeah, they were like, dude, man, I can't handle this for.
I can't handle it now. It's
and they wanted me to break it into chunks, and there's too much work for me to break it. I'm not very good at video editing, so I said, you know what?
Do that eventually. I probably will.
Yeah. I just broke it down to 2 hours. So, okay. God bless everybody. Enjoy your Friday. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now I'm going to get ready to have popcorn. And no, I wish I had some popcorn. I am going to go to my debate on Clubhouse at 8:30. If the Muslim with many degrees and who's in law enforcement shows up and
hold on, let me guess. Is he a biblical scholar too?
I don't know.
That's what they are.
No, it's the morality police in Iran.
He always likes to throw in our faces that he's got many degrees. And now I found out that he's also in law enforcement. But why would you have many degrees?
Eric has me beat with as many degrees.
Well, you guys got me beat. So
Eric has me way beat.
I mean, I only got 1 degree.
I'm still continuing mine.
I guess 2 if you count the associates and the bachelors, because I didn't do all 4 years. I kind of did 2.
No PhD here.
No PhD, no masters.
Masters and post-grad certification.
I am a master of none, a jack of all trades. God gave me a brain that still functions. So yeah, so it should be fun. If he shows up, he's off today and he's in Washington area, so we're on the same time zone.
All right.
So, all right. I'll see you. If nothing else, I'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
All right. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. I'll probably see you over at Clubhouse. And everybody, good night. See you guys tomorrow. Alhamdulillah.